I could start every video like this. I'm Cousin It. Ha ha ha. Alright, dumb joke out of the way. Now, let's get down to business. There was a leak, another one, and I love leaks just because I love to rip them apart and how bad they are. This one, however, people say has a lot. It's credible. It's really credible. They said. We'll get into all that. Then we'll get into what they kind of announced today for the next patch. Anyway, so while this loads, it's taking forever to load. I have no idea why. Here, let me close that. Let's just go through this. So it says here's some juicy info on 8.3 in the next expansion. Leaks, right? And I want to take the time to tell you guys to take this with a grain of salt. As with every leak, they're good and bad, but I should make my own leak. I could probably do my own leak a lot better. They talked about the leak map. Damn it, I don't have it pulled up. The one with the zeros and stuff on it. And they talked about how it was a work in progress. Anyway, let's get into. Let's stick with this expansion, then we'll go back to that. The last boss of BFA was indeed shown in the Ajara defeat cinematic, but is more metaphorical than people realize. The last boss is us, Alliance, and Horde. Okay, as indicated in the last shot of Jaina and Lotharmar, Ajara and Nazoth are both bosses in the next expansion. We won't be facing them again, at least physically in BFA. This coincides, of course, with the last leak that I read, where they said that they would be in the next expansion. I don't see them doing this. They did it with Garrosh, though, where he didn't really die. He went into the next expansion, but it's weird because they talk about how Sylvanas sees Garrosh as an amateur. So if she does survive, she's going to do something a lot bigger than Garrosh did. I don't know. When they talked about firing the cannon, I thought it was going to be used against Nazoth, but that's just me. Sylvanas will prepare a strike against Thunder Bluff, tricking both the Alliance and the Horde into defending it. During this distraction, she will evade and conquer Stormwind. Imagine falling for the exact same thing twice in one expansion. They can't do this again. They've already done this exact storyline. If they do this again, it'll literally be the expansion of recycled stories. It would literally be the entirety. You could draw a parallel to any other expansion. Don't think they're gonna do this. It doesn't sound right. I think maybe there is a Raid of Stormwind coming, but I don't think that we're gonna be tricked into it. I think Sylvanas is just gonna have a show of force, and maybe that's why the cannon's fired. Who knows? The latter will be explained through a comic released in October. Okay, it's always been the plan to finish the expansion with a raid version of Stormwind. Therefore, patch 8.3 includes a 10-raid boss in Elwyn and the city itself, along with a complimentary all-new 40-player battleground, which would be pretty cool. The battleground would be cool. In the raid, Horde and Alliance players will fight alongside important lore characters and leaders from both factions. Wormblade, Matthias Shaw, Thrall, Saurfang, those types of people. Sylvanas has already taken Stormwind at this point. The raid is about defeating Sylvanas and reclaiming Stormwind. The first boss is a sort of caravan escort scenario. An Azerite-powered battering ram made by goblins and gnomes will start in Goldshire and travel slowly towards the gates of Stormwind. If only we had a Vindicar. If only we had, maybe that's what the cannons use against is the Vindicar. It'd be nice for them to actually be like, Alliance has like all of these overpowered, we still have ships in the sky. We still have all that kind of stuff, but we're supposed to make an Azerite battering ram. That's how we're supposed to breach Stormwind. What an anticlimactic way to do it, dude. That sucks. The second boss is Old God Aligned and enslaved city guards. Okay, why? To kind of cause chaos, I guess. And other famous Stormwind NPCs such as Topper McNabb. If you don't know who that is, he is the vagabond, I guess you'd call, the hobo who sits in the trade district at the top of the hill beside where the auction house building is. Another notable boss is Enduin. Halfway through the raid, he will succumb to the whispers of Nazoth and will fight him until he returns to his former self. Wrathion makes a special appearance during this fight, and that kind of coincides with Wrathion trying to, or I guess successfully, able to make people immune to the Whispers of N'Zoth. I like him to give that to Sylvanas instead, though, and see what happens there. But this assumes that Sylvanas was playing 8D chest all along, which is extremely bad storytelling. But N'Zoth is trying very hard to keep us from reaching Sylvanas, even though throughout the entirety of the expansion it was fight each other. And N'Zoth wants Wrathion dead. Okay. But why does he want us to all of a sudden not fight Sylvanas? If this was true, the entirety of the expansion, he would have been trying to make us focus on him, not each other, because we were walking right into Sylvanas. It's possible he didn't know about her plans, but he knows everything. You know, he's playing 8D chest. So this makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. And perhaps again it happens. It's just this information's off. Possible. The 8th boss is Nathanos. The encounter takes place in Cathedral Square. Tyrande decapitates him at the end of the fight. I think it'd be a little bit more poetic if Gen did it, but it still would be pretty cool. The punitive boss is Sylvanas. She awaits in Stormwind Harbor. Massive spoilers here now, so be warned. So Sylvanas is the first of 2 encounters that comprise of the grand finale of Battle for Azeroth. Alliance and Horde will fight alongside against Sylvanas until Bolvar eventually appears and starts killing Horde leaders. Even though he only hates Sylvanas. So he knows everything that Sylvanas has done, but he doesn't know about the Horde and Alliance pact to take down Sylvanas. And he decides, instead of not meddling in our affairs at all, to meddle in the end. Okay. First to go is Lothamar, which... Poor guy, he just started getting some lore. Bolvar will then side with Talia and the Alliance. Why? No. Anyway, Sylvanas will shoot Gen in response, prompting the intermission. I don't know. I think she's gonna miss. Hit or miss. I guess she never misses, huh? No, she always misses. No, she hits her target. During the intermission, all of the Horde leaders... You know what? I gotta stick with this for a second. I was thinking, too. Because this happens. I'm curious to see like what the rest of this says. Because I know about some of it. But I was hoping that Sylvanas would run away again, which was one of the other theories. And I completely missed the opportunity to say... I guess she really puts the term runner in the name Windrunner because she runs like the wind. And I was thinking, like, yeah, she either blows stuff up or she runs away. There's never really an in-between with her, isn't there? During the intermission, all of the Horde leaders will rejoin Sylvanas. Instead of saying, Bolvar, you're an idiot, we're here to kill Sylvanas. And then he just goes, oh, shit, sorry, my bad, famine, like, re-raises Lothamar. Gen dies. I kind of hope they don't kill off Gen. I really like Gen, and a lot of people don't like Gen for some reason, but people hated Jaina, and all of a sudden she popped back up, and everyone's like, oh, I love Jaina. I was always on Jaina's side. You're a bunch of liars, all of you. I've always liked Gen. I always will. I hope he sticks around. You gotta remember, if it wasn't for Gen, we wouldn't have BFA. The Alliance would have already lost, so we owe him at least that. Anduin and Jaina declare war on the Horde. That's something I would have liked to have seen. But the way Jaina helped Bane, and like Bane wouldn't have sided with Sylvanas. Saurfang wouldn't have sided with Sylvanas. This makes 0 sense. Anyway, the final fight begins. The final boss is the Horde or the Alliance, depending on what your faction is. The encounter is cosmetically unique to each faction, but strategically identical. Horde will win once the Enderwin is dead, and the Alliance will win once Sylvanas is dead. Okay, the encounter was designed to have you fight the faction leaders. To have your faction leaders die one by one as the opposing faction's health ticks down. The players will all die as well, sort of like the Arthas fight. And I think that's really cool, with Enduin and Sylvanas being the last one standing. I do like the idea of us all dying. I really do like that. I also said that BFA was the next expansion. Sorry, after BFA was going to be a soft reset. That we were either going to probably see the level squish, which makes sense, and probably have us go up more than 10 levels in an expansion. I really think, especially with Classic coming out, I really think they're gonna try and hybrid retail a little bit more, which I hope they do. Okay, a cinematic will play once the encounter is over. Anduin will end up killing Sylvanas or vice versa, depending on your faction, only to die at his or her only to die of his or her wounds. Ultimately, everyone will be dead and the harbor will be silent. Characters will then wake up in the Shadowlands. A ghostly fleet of Helia's ships await us in the death version of Stormwind Harbor. With Nathanos by her side, Sylvanas declares that we are now strong enough to face the true battle for Azeroth. I will uninstall the game if that actually happens. I will uninstall the game and never come back. This expansion is called the Battle for Azeroth, not the next one. I think Nyalotha is going to be the last patch, or some form of Nyalotha. I like the idea of the raid underneath the sword more, and trying to restuff N'Zoth back into his prison, other than because trying to fight an old god apparently is near impossible, but there might be a way to actually remove the corruption and kill an old god, which again, where I was hoping it would go, that we would actually be able to kill an old god and find a way to turn the tide against the other old gods. Maybe killing one, rouse the others and cause them to break free. Then we have an entire expansion of old god stuff. I'm hoping some more dragon stuff. Anyway, a short teaser cinematic starring Gallywix and Mekatork will be shown at BlizzCon November. Gallywix, who fled the fight in Stormwind, he's never really actually been in a fight, so that makes sense, will eventually find King Mekatork's escape pod and awaken him from suspended animation. Okay. This is not for... I don't believe that this is for Mekatork and Gallywix. I believe this is for Mechanomes. Mechanomes will be... They'll probably announce another 3 allied races. The suspended animation they talked about, for those who don't know, in Battle for Dazala lore, Mekatork barely escaped the fight with the Horde, and he's in like some suspended animation with some like high-tech gear keeping him alive. And it's stuff they've never seen before, and I'm pretty sure goblins don't know what the heck it is, because goblins seem to have like a different... goblins and gnomes working together is dangerous because they can make the most high-tech stuff, but apart, like, goblins have these explosive that work really well, and then, gnomes have this really cool, like, fancy tech that works, but doesn't have that much firepower, I find. So it would be cool to see them come together, but the mecha gnomes have high-tech, like, much greater technology. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to introduce them into the Alliance by bringing Mekatork back to life. Maybe he'll get, like, a really cool mecha arm or something. I'm thinking they'll do that instead. Anyway, together they figure out what happened and construct a device that allow us to enter and leave the Shadowlands at will. Okay. So to die, to basically resuscitate and kill ourselves over and over again. Because, I don't know, anyway. Their cooperation lays the groundwork for a new Tinker class. Oh, and there it is. The device is rumored to be called the Dalaran Hearthstone 9.0, giving to the end of the introductory questline. It works like the Month's Transcendence ability. Okay. So Kalia is the faction leader during the raid. BFA's patch release schedule feels slower because the plan is to lead into 9.0 much quicker than ever before, which this would make sense if this was all true, because they wouldn't have to really... I guess they would need new assets and stuff. I don't think that's true either. I don't know. You can have a physical form in the Shadowlands if you're brought there artificially, either by its denizens, such as spirit healers, by means of the dimensional technology. The Dragon Isles, Shadowlands, and Old Gods have a much deeper connection than one would think. I mean, I know that there's a much deeper connection because it was all made by Titans and stuff, right? Like, especially the Dragon Isles, it was all 4 dragons. Guess who gave them their power, So, and the Old Gods kind of working against the Titans. So, I think that there is an extremely deep connection there. This is explained by lots of quests and dungeons. I don't know any specifics besides the Shrines of Dragon Blight, and on the Dragon Isles being connected to the Shadowlands somehow. Somehow. The connection will also play a major role and be explored in the patches going forward. The Curse of Flesh plays a role. So here's the photo. This is the photo that, and I think here, you can see, I think that's Nathanos, Bane, and Sylvanas. Kind of looks like Illyria as well, but, who knows. And I mean, it looks good. Also, yeah. We'll have to wait and see, because it's weird, right? Like, it looks good. It looks like Blizzard's assets, but I'm really hoping they don't pull like the whole. So Sylvanas' character works if she's a villain. It does. It really works if she's a villain. And the only way she doesn't become a villain is if when we come back, everything right before BFA is where we come back in. And it's possible that dragon powers yet can reset us to there. And maybe from there we can take a different path and avoid all of the stuff that happened in BFA. But there's an issue. That trivializes BFA. That trivializes our character's development. That trivializes everything we've done in BFA. Because if our motivations change and we're able to reset time to at least before the burning of Teldrassil, that would be the only way they could have Sylvanas not be killed anyway. But even this is like, it's weird. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's major plot holes that they could try and cover up. And I think, again, I always think that these leaks kind of tell, like, it's always a guess, right? So some guesses are going to be right, some are going to be off. But the new patch, 8.2.5, has us conclude the war campaign, which means the Alliance and the Horde stuff comes to an end. Well, at least its war campaign, I should say, in 8.2.5, which probably leaves us with an 8.3 Nyalotha, would be hopefully my guess. I think it'd be nice. I think that'd be the better. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this stuff, because it's a leak, right? So there's a good and bad. I should talk about the next expansion before I leave. So Shadowlands, which is this is the Shadowlands photo that I showed this in the last one as well. And they talked about, like, these places look really cool. I really do like this. I still don't think... I think Dragon Isles should be kept for its own thing. I think Dragon Isles and Jorn the Bloodwake would work as an expansion that goes together. Vol'jin's Rest, which I guess is cool, but why did Vol'jin get his own rest? Anyway, it looks cool. Zones look a little, like, small in some of them, but it does look nice. I like the way it's broken up. So it talks about Shadowlands not all dark and gloomy. The concept for art for Xeros and Darkfront are very colorful. The Riftlands feel more like a psychedelic outland, that sounds actually pretty cool. The Blood Trolls and Morbara are not our enemies. They are being tortured for their failure to worship Hakar in life. The zone is nothing like Nazmir, so troll fatigue is not a concern. I mean, Blizzard usually does a lot of troll stuff, so I'm sure everybody will be fine with it. They talked about how this I think this Muzala, that's not the bat. I don't remember. I don't know who Muzala is present in Morbar. Sorry, Horde players. It's weak and afraid of Hakar. He is shapeless because Hakar destroyed his corporeal form. Nyalotha lies in a pocket universe, which is why it says transit. However, this does not change the fact that the Shadowlands and Nyalotha are connected. Why would they need to go to the Shadowlands? Like, if N'Zoth is present on Azeroth, if they can manifest themselves in Azeroth, why do they need the Shadowlands? I just don't think Shadowlands are going to be used for old gods. I think that Helya and Sylvanas' pact is either more deeper than we realize or not nearly as deep as we want to assume. We are giving Blizzard a lot of credit for this, let's be honest. Why would they need a foothold in the Shadowlands? Or like I said, it's possible that they have Azeroth, but we're going into the Shadowlands to stop them. But we went to the Shadowlands not by dying. You know, like, even down here it talks about Gallywix and Mekatork making a thing that just... There's portals there that take us back and forth. The Vrykul have done this many times. The Prime Designate could probably just, he was the one that pulled us out. Is it him or Aegir that pulled us out? Somebody pulled us out of the Shadowlands anyway when we were in there already. So we don't need like these weird portal things. It's been done in game. Again, I don't think that the Shadowlands is for old gods. I think the soft reset is going to happen. I think we're dealing with N'Zoth now. We're dealing with Sylvanas now, and we're going into an extremely uncertain future. And I think that's for a reason. I think we're gonna sail west. Maybe we'll chase Sylvanas, and then we'll find the Dragon Isles. We'll find Jordan the Bloodwake. Maybe she'll try and make a deal with him. She commands Valkyr, or maybe he makes a deal with her because she wants more. It doesn't know, right? Who knows? But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you like this video, like it, share it around. If you want me to do my own leak, I can make my own leak, and I'll probably make it pretty good as well. So, what other videos do I have to do? We'll talk about other stuff later. Anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you later.